Are you in your Infusible Ink era too? If so, you are going to love this tutorial. Let's get started. It's Romeo Wednesday. Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. We are still continuing our Infusible Ink journey and I am very excited to share this tutorial with you. This is one of the shirts we're making today. This one says Auntie and it says established 2002 because when I became a mom in 2002, my sister became an auntie in 2002. Yes, I used Infusible Ink and I am going to take you step by step through this process. At the end of this video, if you find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and dive right in to Leonardo Design Studio. Materials I'm using for this tutorial include, of course, my Siser Romeo. I'm using my HTV Ront auto heat press. I'll use my Cricut heat resistant tape and my cute little hedgehog. I'm using two different colors of Cricut Infusible Ink, a Siser High Tack Matte, and two 100% polyester shirts that I purchased from Michaels. This is the Make Market brand. The font that I'm using was downloaded from Creative Fabrica, and I will show you how I put the design together inside of Leonardo Design Studio. Let's head over to the computer. I am in Leonardo Design Studio, and I am going to show you how to create the file that I just showed. I am in Leonardo Design Studio. The first thing I'll do is come down here to this panel at the bottom and grab a text box. And the font that I'm using for the word mama and the font that I'm using for aunt or auntie will be the one that's called college outline. So I'm going to type my text. My caps lock is on. So type in mama. And I'm using, as I stated, college outline. I do have the bold option selected, and I do not have auto weld text selected. I'm going to click apply, and what I'll do is come over here to the properties panel. I do have the proportions unlocked. I'm resizing the width to 10.6, and I'm resizing the height to 5.7. Okay. The next thing I'll do is bring the text over to the center of the screen, and with the text selected, I am going to go down here to build contours. I'm selecting editable contour, include holes, and I'm bringing the offset up to 0.035. I'll click apply, and still with both text selected. So I have the first original word mama that I typed, and then behind that there is an outline. Both of them are still selected. With both still selected, I am going to come back down here to this panel, and I'm going to choose the option to stamp keep. This is a pro feature. This feature is not available in the basic Leonardo Design Studio option. Okay, so now what I'll do is remove this background layer, and I don't need the front layer anymore. I'm just going to delete that. Okay, so here I have the word mama, and what I want to do now is come down here to this panel, and I am going to select the fourth option, which is tube warp, and I think this looks fantastic already. The next thing I'll do is just kind of click out of that word. I don't need it selected anymore. I'm going to come down here to this bottom panel. I'm using this panel right here at the bottom left a lot for this tutorial, and so you'll need the Pro feature in order to use some of these features. I'm going to scroll over to the rounded rectangle, and I am going to change the width to 6.0, and I think that the height at 2.5 is fine. I'll click apply, and I'll bring it here to basically the center of the word mama, and then I'll click escape on my keyboard. Now I'd like this, but I do think that the rectangle is a little bit too tall, so I'll just kind of bring it up. I think that's a fair size. So now I'll click out of that, and I'll come back down and grab a text box again, and I'm typing EST period 2002. I'm typing 2002 because that's the year that I became a mom. And the same year that I became a mom, my sister became an auntie. So I am going to use established 2002, but I'm changing the font to just the basic college. Let's see. I like this one that's just called college font. Let's see this one. Yeah, the one that's just called college font, and I'll click apply. Now I'll change the color of this just so we can see what's getting ready to happen with it. So I have established 2002 selected. I'm just going to change the color of it to yellow for now, and I'll move it down on top of the rectangle. And what I'll do is I will select the rectangle and the text just by holding the shift key, and I'll come up here to the top panel and select arrange align objects, and I want to make sure that the text is centered in that rectangle. Okay, centered. That looks great. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to have just the rectangle again and the text selected. And with both of those selected, I'm coming back down here to this bottom panel, and I'm going to select the option to remove the front. Okay, so now I have my first design and it is complete. I think it looks fantastic. If I were to change anything, it might just be to make this rectangle a little bit smaller. I think it was just a little bit too wide. Let's see if I want to make it even smaller than that. I think that looks good. Okay, so now what I'll do is select both mama and the rectangle, and I will click arrange align objects, and I want those to be centered. And what I'll do with the complete design is I will right click on it and I will group it. So when it's time to cut this, it'll all cut together, and that's exactly what I want. Now I'll move this to the side and I will create the design for my sister because I'm making a shirt for her and one for myself. So I'm coming back over here. I'm going to select the text option again. I'm typing auntie. And remember, I used college outline as my font. I do have the bold option selected. I do not have auto weld text. I'm going to select that. And once again, I'm changing the width to 10.6. And I'm changing the height to 5.7. Okay, just like that. I think this looks so good, and I'm sure she is going to love it. Now I can keep it just straight, just like this, because I actually think this looks very good. However, I'm going to make it just like I made mine. So what I'll do is, with the text selected, come back down here to build contours. I'm going to editable contour, include the holes, and create my offset at 0.035. Remember, I like that size. I'm going to apply that. Still with both selected, I'm coming back down here and I am going to select stamp keep to give me that good outline that I love. And I'll delete this. I don't need this part anymore. Okay, I'll bring auntie back over here and I will add that warp feature, which is the fourth option, the tube warp. I think that looks
really good. All right, and now I'll click escape on my keyboard just to kind of get out of there. Do I want this wider? I think I want it just a little bit wider because of that E. I think that E was looking a little bit too narrow. Okay, I like that. That looks excellent. And now what I can do is, instead of recreating this rectangle and all of that, what I'll do over here is just ungroup this. And if I was thinking earlier, I would have just duplicated, but I didn't. So I'll select the rectangle and the text that established, because hers is the same as mine. So I'll right click on this and I will go to edit and add copy. And so I'll bring this over here, and now I can just group these back together. And I'll make sure hers is centered. So I'll select Auntie and Establish 2002. I will go to Arrange and Align Objects and Center. I think this looks excellent. And I will right click and I will group these. And I am going to change the color of this just because I want to make sure it's going to be looking for two separate designs. Okay, so I think it looks excellent. Now I'll come up here to Artboard and Cutting Mat, and instead of selecting Material Roll, I'll go to Cutting Mat, and I'm going to select the 12 by 24 mat, and I'll bring this over so that everything is cut at the same time. I don't need to come back into Leonardo Design Studio. Okay, I think this looks excellent. I actually love it. And what I'll do now is I will click, let me just bring this down, just all the way down. It doesn't make sense for it to be at the top, and I'll have a definite space in between. Okay, I'll click Send Design. And let's see, move each artwork, select the artwork. I want all artwork, and I want to keep the relative, let's see, keep relative, move each color to layer origin. I want to use the current matte location. No, I don't want to do that. I'll move each color to the layer origin because I'm using a smaller matte. I'm going to click Send. Okay, and so I'll get my first design cut out first, and then I'll do the second one. And because I'm using infusible ink, I do need to make sure that the mirror option is on, and I'll click Send to Cutter, and everything I'll do from here will be back on the camera.
The pattern of infusible ink that I'm using for my shirt it's called Patterns Rainbow Cheetah, and it came with two colors. I'm using this one for my shirt, and I think it's going to look fantastic. I have my infusible ink on the mat face up. I'm going to get the mat inserted into the cutting machine, and I will let my Siser Romeo cut this. I'm going to use a speed of 10 and a force of 50. So I'm going to get it inserted right here in the front, and I will go around to the back of the machine and make sure the lever is locked in the back, and I'll speed this part up. I have both of the designs cut out. Now let's go to an overhead view so I can show you how I'm going to weed this. This is always the hardest part of getting started. I do think it's going to be hard to weed out those thin lines, but I'm going to do my best. Let me do my best. with the easiest part first. This is going to be a challenge because what I'm trying to do is get in between all of these thin lines. So infusible ink is not really intended for these thin lines, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to start with the big parts first. Okay. So this already looks good, but I'm definitely going to weed away the parts in the middle and see if I can do it. Now this is not going to be easy because I know that oh, it's doing well. All right, so here is the design, and I think it's going to look fantastic. Now with the other two, I'm probably just going to keep the thick outline and not do the inner parts, but I'll know by the time it's time for me to press. Let me continue with weeding the other two. I am wondering if I should have removed this thicker part of the outline, but we'll see how it turns out. And if I don't like it, I'll just redo it. But we shall see. Let's move over to the heat press. So while my heat press is heating up, I am going to start to prepare my shirt. I'm using a Make Market large. These are 100% polyester. I am going to remove the tag and lint roll the shirt. I just have this butcher paper on the heat press mat because the mat is not very good shape, and nobody needs to see that. The heat press has reached the desired temperature. I have butcher paper inside the shirt. I'm going to place the image on the shirt face down so it looks just like this. I'm going to place it face down about 3 fingers from the collar of the shirt, and going to put, I'm not going to tape this down. I feel like there's enough adhesive around this so I don't need to tape it down. I am going to put the butcher paper on top, and I'm going to press this on 400 degrees for 60 seconds. All right, let's peel it and reveal it. I'm in love. I am in love with this. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. OMG. I'm gonna let you look at it. So this is the finished result. I love this. I love the subtlety of that thin outline, and then how bold it is down here, established 2002. I love it. So I'm going to do my other one just like that. And then for the auntie shirt, I'll keep the outline thick and we'll keep the bottom portion thick also. So let's press the second one and then we'll do auntie, and then we will get ready to land this plane. Once again, I am going to pre-press, but I'm going to lint roll first. Here's the second design, Mama. Bringing it up a little bit. Butcher paper. I do need butcher paper inside the shirt. All right, let's get a look at our second shirt. There's nothing on this butcher paper, so I will definitely be using that one again. And this is the second design, and I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, let's look at it. Look at that. Look at that. When I was weeding, I made a mistake right there on the A. But if I didn't tell you, probably would not have noticed that. I think this is so cute. I love it. Okay, so now we'll do the auntie and we will be finished. So hopefully you have found this tutorial helpful. Let's take a close look again at the 3 shirts I made during this process. This was the first one, and I did the thinner outline with the bold established at the bottom. I love this. I think it's so gorgeous. I love the subtlety of Mama with the bold at the bottom. And then this was the second one, still with the thin outline, and then the bold at the bottom. And then last but certainly not least, here's our auntie shirt for my sister. And I think she is going to absolutely love this. And hopefully you do too. And if you did find this tutorial helpful, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.